So hello, mindful cyclists. This is Lisa Meranti here with One Tree Love, and I'm coming to you with another Yoga for Cyclists segment. In this segment, we're going to look at some post-ride stretching that will really concentrate a lot on the lower body, the legs, the hips, the calves especially, and the low back. So I just finished up on Sadie, my touring bike, a really fast, short ride. This intent was for me to get my heart rate up. And so now I want to kind of cool things down. Before I begin, I just want to kind of tag on to what Coach Diana was talking about the gear. So you'll see that I may have specific cycling gear. It's obviously not all of it is necessary. Some of it, as you will hear her talk about or you heard her talk about, are for your safety. Some of it is for comfort and just to be prepared for in other cases. So what I wanted to share with you that I have invested in recently is called a Road ID. So you'll see me wearing it. It has my name, my contact information, in case this would get lost, but mostly it has my emergency contact information, or the contact information for my emergency contacts is what I should say. It also has my allergies. So this is a little bit of being prepared for in case something were to happen to me, that would be a source that they can contact folks. The other thing that you'll see is that I have a watch. This particular watch was a gift to me, so I can't make strong recommendations one way or another about a particular watch. But I can say that one thing that I wear it for is so that I can see my heart rate. So particularly for today, where I was really focusing on elevating my heart rate, I did some checks and saw where I was. So just some thoughts on the gear. I'm going to take those off so they're not clanging around. And then we're going to come into what is my go-to posture right after I finish riding. So let me cool things down a little bit by taking off this helmet and letting the hair down. There we go. All right, so when I finish riding, this is what's called to me. So I did offer a body scan, if you haven't done that already, where you may want to just kind of check in with yourself first to find out what is it that you particularly need. Now my hips are quite flexible, and so this posture may not be available to you. So I'd love to hear in the comments from you all, what is it that is your go-to posture, or if this one isn't available to you, what is it that you like to come into right away? So when I come off the saddle, I'm feeling it in my low back, I'm feeling it in my hips, and so coming and settling here. The postures that we're going to take today, I'm going to invite you to take them for 3 to 7 breaths. And so you may decide you want to go longer. So when I first start my ride, I am finding postures that have some movement, that are dynamic. When I'm post-ride and I'm already warm and I'm trying to cool things down, my postures are a little more still. And so I'd love to hear from you in the challenge question and to be entered into the raffle as to what is the posture, or what is the name of what do we call these poses when we are not creating movement? What are those kind of stretches? And so as you're in here and you've taken your length of breath, 3 to 5, maybe 7, maybe you want to kind of wrap around, maybe you're up higher and you just want to kind of wiggle and move around. And so you may get some crackles and pops as you do this in those hips that have been really working hard, giving them some release now. Great job. The next posture we're going to come to is a forward fold. So take your time to turn your toes so that your feet are parallel and bend your knees really generously. So if you've got really tight hamstrings, you can be gentle on those. And you can come halfway here. So hands can come on to the tops of the thighs, and you want to press the sit bone back and the crown of the head forward. So I am here by a pond that helped me cool things down as well. I love being around water and thinking about its energy to cool me. And so maybe staying here for those 3 to 7 breaths, or maybe coming all the way forward. As you do this, maybe you want to reach for opposite elbows and dangle here. And letting the hair down, maybe as it brushes along the grass. And just allowing the breath to become easy, allowing it to lower that heart rate. And you can particularly pay attention to the exhale and make it a little longer. And maybe you've got a lot of tension built up here and you could want to shake out the head and neck. And maybe that tension is being stored in a way that's restricting the breath. So maybe as you're here, maybe the exhale comes out the mouth. And maybe it's with a sigh even. Beautiful job. When you're ready, if you're forward all the way, come up halfway. And then allow the spine to roll. Head will be the last thing to come up. And just take a moment to notice where you are. Maybe you're at home, you're indoors, maybe you're outside. I've got some friends joining me. Hopefully you're going to see them really soon over here. But just taking that time to sort of notice, check in with yourself, notice your surroundings. And as you're doing that, you may find something that you want to use for this next posture. There they are. I'm going to use my bike. They're so peacefully straddling away. And so for this posture, you may decide you want to use a chair. You may want to use a bench or a picnic table somewhere. I'm going to use my bike. And so I'm going to start here with one leg. Doesn't matter which one. And I'm going to place my ankle right on the tip of my saddle here, my seat. And again, finding a little soft bend. My hamstrings aren't particularly tight this morning, but just want to be really cautious that I'm not overstretching those tight hamstrings. So if you are finding tight muscles, where can we bring some cool, chill attitude to it? We're coming into a full moon as I'm recording this, and so that energy can help us think about finding some chillness. So you can come up and look around again as to where you are. Let those toes, kind of explore. Do they feel comfortable pressed away in a more yin-like way or more yang-like? As you turn the toes back, now I really feel it firing up more in my hamstrings. So your personal choice here. You get options to kind of test those out. And then see if it feels good to fold forward here, intensifying that stretch along the hamstring and even a little bit into the IT band and into the glutes here. I'm also feeling it quite intense in my calf. And so just pausing to where the degree is maybe you want to come again a little higher to reduce that intensity. And then when you're ready to be there, finding those breaths with that little bit of a longer exhale. Maybe each time you come up or breathe in, you come up just a little. And then when you exhale, you bow just a little. And then when you're ready with that, or you're finished with that, I'm going to invite you to move it so that your calf is on that tip of the seat. Or again, you may find this on the edge of a table. And I'm going to sort of roll out here. So I like to use tennis balls a lot, but obviously I'm using my bike after I'm done with my ride here. And then I'm using this to move the toes and the hips from side to side and getting in to the places that I feel like I got a little work to do in getting out some knots and tension in my calf. And I found that the tip of my seat is really good for that, to kind of get some of that knot action, or the knotting kind of massaged with a little bit of moving here. And so I have some students who refer to some of these things as like sweet torture. Hopefully it's not torture, but I hope it's sweet for you. I hope it brings some mindful release to the body. Certainly I know that practicing outside and being able to take in this beauty is very helpful in chilling out as well. All right, and when you're ready to be done with that, I'm just going to invite you to feel yourself in mountain pose. And then maybe begin to lift and lower, marching a little bit. And just feel the sensations that you have now, comparing one side of the body to the other after we've done a couple postures on the one side. It should be feeling quite different. So, as I love to do, try to balance things out and find symmetry. Let's do that on the other side. So first, starting again, placing it kind of more situated at the ankle. Point and flex those toes. And you may find that you need to roll out those toes as well to get any crackles and pops out of the ankle. And as you come in, either with toes pointed or flexed. Remember, pointed away from you is going to be more yin-like, more cooling, more chill, and toes back towards your knee is going to intensify. It's going to build a little bit of heat here in this stretch. So finding what you need, what's right for you. And that's what I love about whether it's cycling. There's different styles of bikes. There's different paths we can take. There's certainly different ways we can ride. Like Sadie, sometimes I ride her when I'm like in a really chill mode and I want to do a short ride and I just want to like look up and take in the scenes. Maybe it's like today where it's an intense short ride. And then there's times that I ride her and we just go like all day long. I pack some bags with food. I have done some overnight trips with her. And so what is so beautiful about cycling is we have all these different ways we can cycle, even on the same bike or use different bikes. And the same is true for our yoga posture and yoga practice. We can come to it different ways, different energies. All right, when you're ready, we're going to shift to the calf. And as you're here, again, remember our work is more to find some massage around into that calf. And so I hope that you're able to find just the right way you want these postures to serve you today. You can try them on in different times. Again, this is intended for us to be doing these post-ride, but you may find that it will serve you better post something else. So as we find those massaging points, those trigger points, maybe in the same spots on one side or the other, you may have to kind of like really dig around and see and explore where, oh, there it is, where it is on this calf. So you see some cyclists who've really built up a lot of calves. So let's give these calves that work really hard in cycling some extra love. Great job. I know I can do that for another 10 minutes, but we'll move on here. And I'm going to find, again, using Sadie here as my support, I'm just going to find another release here for my low back. And in this, I'm going to allow my hands to stretch long. I'm going to allow my sit bones, my tailbones to stretch long behind me, and my hands, the crown of my head, forward. Hands right in between the biceps on this one. Navel towards the spine and finding a little bend into the knees and the elbows. And then a couple breaths here. Let's find those long, slow breaths out together. Inhaling. And long, slow breath out. As we do this, we start to get quiet, listening to the breath or sounds around us. Maybe again for yourself a sigh with the exhale. And then from here, we're just going to cross one ankle in the other, getting a little bit more into the outside of the hips. Maybe feeling this again a little bit more into all the places we've just explored. So find as you do this cross where that placement is for you. The feet might be wide or close together, narrow, or they might be a little bit wider. And so finding that cross of the legs here, just for a little different sensation, keeping the upper body the same, and finding a couple easy breaths here. And we'll uncross that. Maybe again you want to walk that out a little bit before we set up for the second side. And so as we do this, we notice that our feet are pretty much right underneath of our hips here in this posture. And again, maybe your legs are wide apart. Maybe there's some narrowness. Seeing if we can place the whole foot onto the ground even as we cross it. And keeping the posture the same with the belly towards the spine, tailbone and crown of the head pulling in opposite directions. Easiness to the knees and elbows. Great job. Let's take a couple more breaths here. Stay as long as you like and then gently come out of it, allowing yourself just a moment to kind of feel the effects. Great job. So I'm going to put Sadie back over here and just offer another option to doing the same series of similar to what we just did, but if you are in a place and you would feel better not using the bike, but instead using the ground, we're going to come to a downward facing dog. But first, to do that, we're going to start off in a plank, a high push-up. Now you can certainly bring the knees down and start this as a low push-up. And so finding placement so that our wrists are right under our shoulders, our fingers got a little space in between them, and then notice where our elbow creases are and see if that can turn towards the fingertips just slightly. Here we're saying really engaged into the core, bellies towards the spine, press through your heels. We just stretch those calves. That could feel good even just to kind of like pedal that out. And then from this place, option to come into your downward facing dog. So if your knees are down, lift them and then begin to straighten your arms. Keep your legs straight. Micro bend the elbows and the knees. And then allowing here for this downward action, this grounding, this cooling. Maybe the grass is damp and kind of helping you to find that cooling. Maybe you're pedaling it out or coming to stillness here. And as we do this, let's take that easy breath in. Long, slow breath out. Maybe again, sighing out the mouth here, maybe letting the tongue drop out. No one's watching here. Beautiful. Now, if you want to find that cross as we did in our forward fold on the bike, you can find it here as well, allowing one leg to cross behind the other. Finding this release may feel quite different. Maybe one is more available to you than the other, so I just want you to notice. Again, trying them out. If they don't work, move on. And if they do work, decide how long you want to stay. And when you're ready to switch, you can be done with that and move on to the next side. And so as we look around nature and we feel nature's energy, we know that it doesn't hold on, right? It moves on, it continues to grow, it releases, this ever-changing process. And great job. When you're ready to be done there, be done and walk your hands towards, or your feet towards your hands, bend your knees, and maybe again you want to take a forward fold. And rinse that out. And then we're going to come all the way down. If you're at a place that is okay to do so, come into a seated posture. And in this seated posture, anything that works for you to sit upright. You can cross the legs, or they can be out long, or even to a butterfly, or maybe you're kind of in a kneeling posture. And then I want you to think about noticing how you feel here. I'm going to take a little pranayama, a little bit more focus on our breath. And you can choose to do this to any variation that you'd like. We're going to find a cooling breath. Again, the idea post-ride to cool down, to chill things out, perhaps in a location that helps us to do so, but certainly in a mindset that helps us do so. So finding some mindful breath here, we're going to stick the tongue out. We're going to breathe in and out over the tongue. And you can curl the tongue if that's available and breathe in and out the tongue as if it was a straw. Now you can have the option to find an inhale and draw from your chin up. And then as you exhale, let go of the tongue curl, place it on the top of your mouth, and then draw down on the exhale. So I'll show that to you. Inhale. Close the mouth. Exhale. Again, inhale. And exhale. You can do this right in the center of the body, or start to look over to your left shoulder, the yin side, and inhale. Exhale it down. And with this twist, this might feel good on your neck, or come back to center. Maybe one more than that on this side. And then coming back to center. And we'll switch to the other side, or if you're staying neutral, we'll find 3 breaths. So looking over to the right side, the yang side, that energy side that we're cooling down. Inhale it up. Exhale, release down to the chest with the chin. 2 more. Inhale through your straw. Exhale it down. Sipping in all that coolness as you breathe in. And then coming back to center and just noticing the temperature difference when you breathe in through your nostrils. How does that temperature feel? And then breathe it out. Notice the temperature. So the inhales are more yang-like, building up heat in the body, building energy. But when it comes in, it's very cool. And once it's been processed through the body, that exhale helps us to release it. And the exhale is a real yin-like, a real chill-like aspect of the body. And when it comes out, it's warmer. So that inhaling, drawing in the cool breath, more yang-like activity of drawing the breath in and pulling in that energy, but the temperature is cooler, which is more yin-like. And when we breathe out, it's more of a yin action, a cooling action, yet the breath is warm. And so it reminds me of the duality in all of life. These differences, the yin and the yang, and that there's a little bit of each in the other. And so as we are out and about, whether your ride was more chill or it was more yang-like, it was more energy and heat-inducing, you can find a little bit of the other. And hopefully your practice helps you balance all that out. So with love and gratitude, may you be well, and may you cycle mindfully. Namaste.